Hey, sports fans, Larry Eater here. It's your favorite short podcast rant, Conversations with Larry. And what are we talking about now? Well, of course, the 117th Millrose games at the Nike Armory, track and field armory, the house that Norb Sander built, baby. Yes. So the armory's been around forever. My buddy Mark Bossodet told me he ran there first in 1977 at 11 o'clock at night in a 2 mile, as I think a sophomore in high school. Many people our age have those kind of memories. But what Norb did over the last 20 years in finding the money to rebuild it, to bring in, first it was New Balance who came on, and then New Balance moved their allegiances to Boston and the track at New Balance, the house that Jim Davis built, right? So Nike came in to the Armory. One of the first things they did is they took that track, which was 5 layers, and got that puppy cleared off, put a brand new Mondo surface on it. It's fast and furious. The straightaways are killer. The facility is great, great sound system. It seats just about 5,000. And since the Millrose games have been hosted there from 2012, 2013 on, it has been a sellout. Now, as you know, before then, the Millrose games were over at Madison Square Gardens. But the owners of Madison Square Gardens got a little chintzy. And what do I mean by that? Well, it cost a lot to put a meet on. And they moved the meet from a Friday night where everybody was already in town to a Saturday night where people had to come back into Manhattan. And that started bringing the crowd down from about 17,000 down to 6,000 or 7,000 in the last couple of years, and they weren't making any money. The mechanical track was slow, ancient, and it took a while, almost an hour sometimes, to get the sprints ready to go. And the Wanamaker Mile, which was the last event, that's what most people came to see. It was always a classy event, but on a 160-yard track, it was rather difficult. I remember seeing the Millrose games for the first time in 1986, which was just mind-boggling. And but when I started going to the Nike Armory, I got to tell you, I loved it from day one. One of my favorite memories, I think, in the first couple of years, was our buddy Ashton Eaton. Ashton ran in the 60 and ran so fast he flipped over the padding at the end of the race. I thought he was down for the count, but he got up standing. It was one of the most impressive gymnastic performances I've ever seen. And I never told Ashton about that. I gotta remind him of that one because that was pretty cool. But there's always been some great performances. This year may have been the very best. And that's what Ray Flynn told me, the meet director, and he should know. It started out with the men's 3,000 with Cole Hawker, the Olympic gold medalist in the 1,500 meters, and our friend Grant Fisher, who won 2 Olympic bronze medals in the 5 and the 10, which is incredible. What that tells you is you got an American who's got a serious kick, and he outkicked some of the best athletes in the world in Paris in the height of competition. So Grant's on my pinball team, and so is Cole. Cole went by Josh Kerr, Jakob Ingebrigtsen when they were just thinking about each other and dueling it out, and took the gold. Jared Naguse got the bronze. But in the 3,000, with 3 laps to go, Cole Hawker shook it up. And he took the lead from Grant Fisher. There had been at pace makers up until 2,000 meters. They went through that in 4:58.9, which is like a 3:56 mile. And then you pop in a 61 while you're flossing your teeth. Okay. So you get down to this last 1,000 meters, and Cole takes the lead. And Grant tries to go by him a couple times. He can't do it. So I'm going, wow, what's going to happen, right? I'm excited. 5,000 people are losing their minds. And Grant Fisher goes by with about 75 meters to go. And Cole tries as he might, but he can't get by him. Grant breaks not only the American record, He destroys the world record, 7:22.91. Cole Hocker breaks the world record too, 7:23.14. Two Americans under the world record for the 3,000. Wow, who would have thunk? And when I talked to our Nike friends afterwards, they said, we knew Grant was going to run fast, but we never thought that fast. And a wonderful interview with Cole. It was on Sidious Mag that Dave Monty did. Cole said it was the first time he had heard the introduction for him as the Olympic gold medalist in the 1500, and it was very emotional for him. But what was more emotional was him losing to Grant. I wrote a piece. Cole Hocker does not like to lose. Check it out. It's on RunBlogRun. I think it's kind of fun. So after that, Whitney Morgan and Josette Andrews went at it in the 3,000. Jessica Hull was there too. Jessie, one of our faves from Australia, she had the flu bad last week and had to drop out of did not compete in New Balance. So it was great to see her, and we did a fun interview with her as well. Jessie got her mark to go to Nanjing. And I got to tell you, and it was Sarah Healy set the Irish record in third place, but Josette Andrews and Whitney Morgan, they were duking it out. And Whitney ran what would she run, a 28.75 for the last 200? She flew 8:28.03 to 8:29 for Josette. Josette's not going to be competing at the U.S. indoors. I believe Whitney is. Then we get down to, well, the sprints, the 60 meters and the 60-meter hurdles were both exciting. But I got to tell you, it was all about the miles, baby. All about the miles. And in the women's mile, you had Nikki Hiltz, you had Heather McLean, you had Georgia Bell, the Olympic bronze medalist. And Georgia told me afterwards, the race didn't go out as fast as she expected. She was having a lot of fun. She was really enjoying the racing. And it came down to just brilliant move because Heather had gone on the inside and was flying. And Georgia kind of woke up with about 50 meters to go and started to move and got inched into the lead. And Nikki Hiltz made this great move at the end, but it's a little early for Nikki, I think, in the season. And the move wasn't as substantial, perhaps. So it was Georgia Bell winning, Heather McLean second, Nikki Hiltz in third. But what a great mile in 4:23. Huh? Wow. Then comes the men's mile. So what we got? We got Cam Myers, the 18-year-old Aussie wonder kid who had just run a 3:53 at the Norb Sanders race just a few weeks before. We had Jared Naguse, two-time winner of the Wanamaker Mile. Oh, and a little bit of trivia for you. The Wanamaker for the first 7 years was a 1.5-mile race. And Joey Ray won, I think, 5 of them. Paavo Nurmi won 4 of them. But again, it was a 1.5 miles. It didn't become a mile until 1927. I'll have to double check with Walt Murphy. But a little bit of trivia for you. So the Wanamaker Mile is always the highlight of the Millrose Games. And as our friend Ian Stewart, who put on meets in the UK, would tell me, Larry, at the very last event, you want to do something that really drives the fans crazy so that they will buy tickets the very next day. That's what Joey Goldstein used to do when he did the old meet. And I think what our friends at Millrose should do is start selling those damn tickets the next day, because I think after those races, people, that would be sold out in one day, right? And it'd be so much fun to hear about that, right? So Jared Naguse didn't really take the lead to 1,000. They went through the 800 in 1:53. It was Jared, it was Cam Myers, it was Hobbs Kessler. Hobbs is just really fit. He ran a 7:35 last week. He could have probably run a 7:28. He just, he was overly enthusiastic, let's just say. But in this mile, it came down to Jared and Hobbs breaking away from everybody. And it was Cam Myers and Azabine Habis, the French athlete, duking it out as well. But our friend Jared was not going to let anybody but get by him, and he ran 3:46.63, a new world record. First man under 3:47 indoors. Hobbs Kessler, 3:46.90, second man indoors under 347. Cam Myers did a 347.56, and our friend Monsieur Azabin Habiz, national record for France, also under 348. It was incredible, right? Then it just was, it was mind-boggling. And Jeff Benjamin got some interviews for us, our senior writer from Staten Island, the mayor of Long Island Running, Staten Island Running, excuse me. And I had come in at the last minute. Now, you guys know my shtick. A lot of times I forget even to apply for a media credential, but I've been really good this year. Except at New York, I didn't think I was going to go. And I went in at the last minute, so I had to buy a ticket, cost $143. But I set up my office, my global office, in the cafe right by the track. And Mark Bossardette was there, Jeff Benjamin was there, everybody came by. We just had a blast. And I got about 5 or 6 hours with Jeff and with Mark. And, I've known Bossardette since 1986. And he was at Reebok. I was at Runner's World, and we've been friends ever since. So it was a lot of fun. But that meet was spectacular. The fans were great. I did some interviews with Jessica Hull. Got to talk with our friend Ollie Hoare. Got to talk with Ray Flynn, Eamon Coughlin. It was incredible. But the 117th Millrose Games, as Ray Flynn said, how does he do it better? It was spectacular. I wish you were there, but be there for the 118th, okay? This is Larry Eater with Conversations for Larry, and we are talking about the 117th Millrose Games.